About my biological son's father, okay? Now, we had met back in 2014, back in the Philadelphia outlets. I was working at Greenleaf's and he was working at Perry Ellis, okay? He came into my work asking to break 100 and I said I couldn't do that because I asked my manager and she said no. But anyways, fast forward, we did not connect after that right away, but then we met up on a dating app. We started hooking up, getting to know each other, etc. And, you know, next thing, I was pregnant. I told him I was pregnant through text message, and what he did was he blocked me right away. He blocked me on Facebook. He said, don't text me, blah, blah, blah. And he had an issue. So my friend and I decided to go to where he lived, and he lived with his mom. And he didn't want to come to the door. His mom answered the door, and she's like, he doesn't want to talk to you right now, etc. And then I remember him texting me, telling me to abort or put the kid up for adoption. And I said, no, it's my body. Now, fast forward, he kept pushing the idea and the issue, him and his mom. And I said no. And he did not really, step forward at all and things like that. The mom did a little bit. She helped get the crib and, some baby clothes and diapers and things like that. But they really didn't, go out of their way. They didn't help with the pregnancy. They didn't ask how I was doing. They didn't ask how the baby was doing, okay? Now, from what I remember, I gave birth, and I told him, I texted him, I just gave birth to your son. And they came in right away. They did the DNA test right there at the hospital. He didn't want to hold my son, Jaden. And he and his mom had left right after. Okay, they didn't say congratulations. They didn't, spend time with us or anything like that. Turns out the paternity test was accurate. Okay. I tried doing child support 3 times. The first time he didn't show up because he said he was sick. The second time he did show up, he had his mom pushing him in a wheelchair. And the third time he came in the courtroom, where they handled the case, without his mom, and he had a medical note. And from what I remember at that time, okay, him and the caseworker were both Italian, so I assume they were communicating back and forth because it's the same caseworker on all the paperwork. She dismissed the case all 3 times because of his Lyme disease and he couldn't pick up 50 pounds and etc. Even though he was not on the birth certificate and the paternity test said he is the father, he should have made an agreement and actually stuck with the agreement to pay me money for, diapers and stuff like that. And he didn't. Now, fast forward, he hasn't made any contact with us at all whatsoever. He hasn't sent birthday cards or presents or video calls or anything like that. And the reason for that is because he stayed in Pennsylvania for a few years and then he moved to California with his mom, back to California, because that's where he's from. Okay. And he graduated college here and things like that. But, supposedly he found a significant other. That's great for him. I'm not complaining, that's his decision. That's his life. And I can't say hey, you can't date. I'm not that type of person. But, I just am surprised because she looks like a downgrade. I don't personally know her. I don't want to say she's this or that, but from my eyes, from seeing his Instagram being open, she looks like a downgrade, I don't know. She could have a really successful career and she might just want to be a plain Jane. I don't know, but some of y'all men, I'm just saying, you can, be successful and keep an upgrade to yourselves and stuff like that. But let's fast forward now. Like I said, hasn't made any contact, hasn't went out of his way, etc. And people wonder why isn't he involved and things like that. First off, it's none of your business. Second off, he's an a-hole. And third off, my son can have a better father figure in his life. That's if the father figure decides to come and play in the cards that is dealt with from life in the universe and stuff like that. But, it is what it is. We're doing good without him. I'm working a job. As you can see, I'm in my car and, I'm on break filming and things like that. But, my son, he's going to be 11 this year. He's basically my height, 5 foot, and etc. He's doing good in school. Even though he has autism, he's doing really, really good. I personally feel like my son is going to be theatrical, and I think he's going to be very into the public speaking because he's very dramatic. So, once he hits high school this coming year coming up, I'm going to put him in, theater and public speaking and things like that. So, I do have my connections for him if he decides he wants to do that. If he wants to get into acting, I have the agencies and I have schools and things like that for him to apply at and things. But anyways, that is it for my podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and you all are amazing, and you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye.